It's all in our hands, this life of time that's given to us all. It gathers round each night, each morn. We watch it pass and grow. It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands. With every field and rising sea, can hear the sounds of all, and with every change we'll always be where hope's not lost but found. It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands. It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands. And we know the change is surely come. Baby, one more trip around the sun. But we'll gather here where land meets sea, where we can be as one.
So unbeknown to me, at this particular moment in time, my Rode microphone system isn't working. No idea why. I plugged it in, had it turned on, but I don't know whether maybe I plugged in the microphone into the headphone jack instead of the audio jack, but whatever, it's not working. So I was a little bit annoyed at that later on when I discovered it. What I'm probably saying now is what a brilliant sky, and it was actually a wonderful morning. I came up with this image, which was okay. It's perfectly exposed, but what I decided to do for some reason is to leave my ND grads at home, and the ND grads would have held back that bright sky to make sure the exposure would look like you see it now. But this has been done by blending 3 exposures, so an overexposed, normal and underexposed image, and blended them together in Lightroom, which it works brilliantly for the exposure, but what it doesn't do is blur the waves, which is what I was really after. I do like that silky water effect that you get. And it also meant that for the rest of the morning, all the stuff that I was doing on the beach, the exposures were just too long. So as you can see here, it's a perfect sky, really a beautiful day. In fact, a lady came up to me later on and said, I hope you were photographing that, it looked wonderful. And I said, yes, I was. Didn't tell her I hadn't photographed it brilliantly, but there we go. Now, other things that I did wrong here. So I didn't have my ND grad with me, which would have meant the exposure would have gone up. At the moment, this is about ½ a second, which wasn't quite long enough to blur the water, which I quite like. I like at least a second exposure if I can, and the ND grad would have done that. I also left my cable release at home, which is another beginner's error, because that meant that I had to photograph this with a 2-second timer, so I had to anticipate 2 seconds before the wave got to where I wanted it to be, so about now, and it goes 1, 2, and then it exposes. Okay, now I could have done with that one being a little bit longer. So a cable release is actually really useful because it means that when you press it, it takes the picture rather than having to wait 2 seconds. So another beginner's error. So I've switched to the I've switched to wide angle now. When I get some more images with some rocks, some of these stones in the front. East Anglian photographers have to make the most of all the detail that they have, and we haven't got mountains here, we haven't got lots of big dramatic backdrops, so my photography is all about, really, it's about foreground, something you have to find on the beach, and I'll photograph stuff with little bits of seaweed before, just to give the eye interest, but it's all about composition, about lines. The sun's out now, some sun rays, so we'll have a little go at that with the wide angle. And this is the result. So I was looking at that little stone in front of you, leading onto the diagonal line of the groins into the sun, but this doesn't work for me. It's just messy. I needed some nice silky water with a long exposure, so all in all, a bit disappointing. So apologies for the sound today. I've no idea what happened using my wireless mics, which are usually great, but for some reason the transmitter or receiver wasn't turning on. It turned on, then turned back off again. I don't know. Equipment's annoying, isn't it? I've just ordered some new a new mic system, so hopefully next time will be better. I don't know whether you can see in the distance there, some chrome up here. I'm sure would have looked absolutely fantastic today. I hope somebody's out there taking pictures of it. But I've had a really good morning. It's been so nice being out and about by the coast. Absolutely gorgeous. It's been one of the hottest, it's been actually the hottest day on record about 3 days ago in England. So it's that time of year, it's in July of 2022 I'm at the moment. But today's absolutely perfect temperature. I've got my shorts on and my wellies on because I'm near the sea, and just a fleece, and it's just lovely. If I've got no photographs at all from today, I've just had a really good day out, so really enjoyed it. So the drone's been flying well. I've got my eye with that. I can still use that quite well. XC4's done the job. Didn't bring my filters with me. It must be back at home. So I've had a really good, strong word with myself about being organised. You can't just throw stuff in the back of the car and go. You have to get stuff ready. I'm hoping that once I start taking photographs more regularly, so I'll be here more often, then I will have stuff ready. I'll be a bit more finely tuned with that, a bit more organised, because that's what it needs to be prepared. As I've said earlier, this is all about getting my creative eye in, getting the equipment tested out. It's the first time with my new Z30 vlogging camera, which I've been very impressed with. Because it's been brilliant. It's been the easiest piece of equipment to use, and that's what it's all about. I'm still after all these years, and I've had Fuji now for 3 years, I still fumble with the buttons, which is really annoying. I couldn't work out how to get the face detect off. I don't know, mate. I need to practice more often. I'm hoping that using it more regularly will mean that I'm better with it, but I have been looking rather endlessly at the Z7 II Nikon system, full frame, and this Nikon Z30 just seems so much easier to use, but I can't really at the moment justify the cost, so we'll see how we go. Thanks very much for watching. Obviously subscribe and everything, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.